In a surprising economic twist, the Philippines has officially overtaken Thailand in gross national income, GNI, for 2025, claiming the title of Southeast Asia's second wealthiest nation in terms of accumulated national income, right behind Indonesia. According to the latest World Bank data, the Philippines now boasts a staggering $518.1 billion in GNI, edging past Thailand's $510.2 billion. Vietnam follows close behind with $453.5 billion, trailed by Singapore at $451.2 billion, and Malaysia with $414.9 billion. But leading the region by a wide margin is Indonesia, holding strong with $1.39 trillion in national income. Now here's where things get really interesting. Unlike most of its ASEAN neighbors, the Philippines is the only country where gross national income actually exceeds gross domestic product. That's right, the nation's GNI is a remarkable $56.5 billion higher than its GDP. So, what's driving this unusual economic edge? Let's break it down. GDP, gross domestic product, measures everything produced within a country's borders. Goods, services, and all the economic activity happening inside the nation. GNI, on the other hand, captures all the income earned by Filipinos and Philippine businesses, both at home and abroad. So, when GNI beats GDP, it means Filipinos are earning more money from overseas than foreign businesses are earning inside the Philippines. And that's exactly what's happening. The big driver? Overseas Filipino Workers, or OFWs, the country's unsung economic heroes. In 2024 alone, Filipinos working abroad sent home $38.3 billion in remittances, up 3% from the previous year's $37.2 billion. According to the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Central Bank, this record-breaking flow of money underscores just how vital OFWs are to the Philippine economy. To put that into perspective, remittances accounted for 8.3% of the nation's GDP and 7.4% of its GNI in 2024. That's a massive contribution, fueling household spending, small business growth, and national stability. Most of these funds, about $34.5 billion, flowed through official banking channels, marking another 3% increase year over year. And where's the money coming from? Primarily the United States, Singapore, and Saudi Arabia, with the US still holding the top spot. On the global stage, the Philippines now ranks fourth among the world's top remittance-receiving nations, with an estimated inflow of $40 billion in 2025, trailing only India, $129 billion, Mexico, $68 billion, and China, $48 billion, and coming in ahead of Pakistan, $33 billion. This ranking highlights more than just numbers. It tells a story of resilience, hard work, and global reach. Every dollar sent home by Filipinos abroad helps keep the nation's economy strong, powering everything from consumer spending to long-term investments. The increase in remittances also ties to a recovering global economy, with better job opportunities and higher wages for Filipinos in the US, the Middle East, and Asia Pacific. A weaker Philippine peso at times even boosted the value of money sent home, encouraging workers to remit more. Looking ahead, remittances are expected to remain one of the Philippines' most stable and powerful growth engines, especially as favorable exchange rates continue. However, potential challenges like geopolitical conflicts or economic slowdowns in host countries could still pose risks. Still, one thing's clear: the Philippines' rising GNI tells a story of a nation whose people, both at home and abroad, are driving it toward a new era of economic strength. The question now is, how far can this momentum take the Philippines in the coming decade? Remittances are expected to keep growing steadily through 2025, unless major global shocks shake things up. These consistent inflows of money from Filipinos abroad will continue to fuel household spending, driving the country's consumption-led economic growth. In fact, the Philippines is often described as a nation whose greatest export isn't goods, it's services. From global customer support to medical care and creative industries, the service sector has become the true heartbeat of the Philippine economy. As of the first quarter of 2025, services make up a massive 62.2% of the country's GDP. That's more than the industrial, 29.5%, and agricultural, now 8.3%, sectors combined. And within that service powerhouse, two forces stand out: the IT-BPO industry and the Overseas Filipino Workers, OFWs, together driving nearly 20% of the nation's total GDP. According to the IT and Business Process Association of the Philippines, the country's IT-BPO sector reached a record 2 million employees in 2025, with revenues climbing to $40 billion, giving the Philippines a solid 10% share of the global BPO market. That's not just growth, that's global dominance. Meanwhile, remittances from Filipinos abroad continue to pour in at record levels. The World Bank projects that these remittances will hit around $40 billion this year, coming from roughly 11 million Filipinos working and living across the world, one of the largest and most widespread diasporas on the planet. To put that in perspective, about 1 in every 10 Filipinos lives or works overseas. The biggest communities can be found in the United States, Canada, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Japan, each playing a key role in keeping the Philippine economy vibrant. Looking ahead, the country's economic outlook for the next decade is exceptionally strong. Rising incomes, growing industries, and major foreign investments are setting the stage for a new era of prosperity. As per capita GDP climbs and standards of living improve, the Philippines is on track to see a major drop in poverty and big gains in human development indicators. Better access to education, healthcare, and opportunities for all, sustained remittances, a booming IT-BPO export industry, and a rebounding tourism sector are expected to remain key growth engines in the years to come. But that's not all. The Philippines is also catching the eye of major US investors, especially in energy and technology. A potential joint exploration in the South China Sea within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone is on the horizon, with local energy companies seeking American partners for multi-billion-dollar oil and gas ventures. Meanwhile, Washington is doubling down on investments in the semiconductor and BPO sectors, reinforcing its strategic economic partnership with Manila. And from Seattle, Ultra Safe Nuclear Corporation is exploring the development of small modular nuclear power plants in the Philippines, part of a broader US initiative to help strengthen the country's energy infrastructure and secure a cleaner, more reliable power future. All these signals point to one clear message: the Philippines isn't just keeping up, it's gearing up for a major leap forward. With a fast-growing service sector, a global workforce that never stops giving, and strong international partnerships, the Philippines is steadily transforming from an emerging market into a regional powerhouse, one remittance, one innovation, and one investment at a time. The Philippines is gearing up for takeoff, armed with strong economic reforms, unstoppable growth, and a clear vision to become one of the world's leading investment destinations. According to the latest World Economic League table by London-based think tank Center for Economics and Business Research, the Philippines is on track to become the 23rd largest economy in the world by 2039. That's a massive leap forward, and a strong signal that the country's rise on the global stage is just getting started. By then, only 3 Southeast Asian countries will make it into the world's top 30 economies. Indonesia, ranked 10th, the Philippines, 23rd, and Vietnam, 25th. The report highlights the Philippines' steady growth and resilience despite global headwinds. crediting its performance to strong domestic consumption, record-high remittances, and a young, growing labor force that keeps the economy dynamic and competitive. To put this into perspective, the country is projected to jump 10 spots in just 15 years, from 33rd in 2024 to 23rd by the 2027-2039. That climb means one thing: the Philippines will soon surpass both Thailand and Singapore, becoming Southeast Asia's second-largest economy, right after Indonesia. And that's not just wishful thinking. Global forecasts back it up. According to S&P Global Market Intelligence, the Philippines' economy is expected to hit $1 trillion in GDP by 2033, measured in nominal US dollars. That milestone would officially make it one of the largest emerging markets in Asia-Pacific, alongside economic giants like China, Japan, India, South Korea, Australia, Taiwan, and Indonesia. This isn't just national growth, it's personal growth too. In the year 2000, the average Filipino earned less than $1,000 per year. By 2022, that number jumped to $3,500, and by 2030, it's expected to soar past $6,000 per person. The country's total GDP is forecast to double, from $400 billion in 2022 to $800 billion by 2030. The main driver? Private consumption. A growing middle class and rising urban incomes fueling demand across every sector. Looking further ahead, research from Capital Economics, a London-based macroeconomic firm, projects that by 2050, the Philippines could become the 18th largest economy in the world, with its GDP expected to hit nearly $4.9 trillion. That translates to an impressive $33,650 per capita income, a level once thought unreachable just a generation ago. But the country's success story isn't just about numbers. It's about momentum and opportunity. With a robust reform agenda, pro-business policies, and strategic partnerships, the Philippines is positioning itself as Asia's next major investment hub. Over the next 5 to 10 years, the country is eyeing around $100 billion in new investments from its two strongest allies, the United States and Japan. These investments will span across energy, semiconductors, infrastructure, and the digital economy, the very sectors shaping the future of global development. Japan, in particular, has proven to be the Philippines' most reliable development partner. Its commitment to infrastructure is monumental, backing projects like the Metro Manila Subway and the North-South Commuter Railway, together worth over $25 billion, more than 80% of which is financed by Tokyo. Meanwhile, the United States continues to strengthen its foothold in the semiconductor and IT-BPO industries, both of which have been consistent engines of Philippine growth for years. And with rising geopolitical tensions in the West Philippine Sea, there's a growing shift in global investment strategy. Many US and Japanese firms looking to diversify away from China are now setting their sights on the Philippines, drawn by its skilled workforce, strategic location, and deepening ties with Western economies. The message is clear. The Philippines isn't just keeping pace with Asia's economic giants, it's racing ahead to join them. With solid reforms, resilient growth, and $1 trillion future on the horizon, the Philippines is no longer just the next big thing. It's already on its way to becoming the region's newest economic powerhouse, a nation ready to take off.